In a world where everything seems to be getting more expensive, Aquatech has done something rather refreshing. They've actually reduced the prices of their housings, and it's not in let's a dodgy way, let's make this cheaper, let's cut some corners. They've basically got the same product, they've just got better production in place, and they've passed that on to the customer. It's the way it should be. Technology should improve, everything should be getting cheaper, but it's not. That's a different story. I'm here to let you know that Aquatech have reduced their prices in 2026. And this is a bit of an update on what Aquatech are doing, what's out that's new, um, and answer the questions that I keep getting and the questions that I've got over the last few days about Aquatech housings. If you don't know me, my name is Tom Woods. I'm a professional photographer, have been full-time since 2004. And now I also teach photography in one-on-one mentorships and through my water photography and confident photographer courses to up-level your skills and become the best photography that you can be. There'll be details below if you want to get stuck into it. So first off, I want to let you know why I trust Aquatech, why I recommend them to my students, to my followers, to anyone that asks. And it's because I've been using them for over 20 years, nearly every day in professional applications, in commercial photography, in my surf photography, in underwater. They've stood up to the harshest conditions and I've never had a leaking housing, touch wood, in 25 years of being a water photographer and probably 23 of those years with an Aquatech housing. So they have been worked perfectly well for me, and I've seen them work really well for my colleagues and now my students over the last 5 or 6 years that I have been teaching with the Aquatech product. I do teach photographers that use other housings, and there's many great housing options. I've just been able to stick with Aquatech, and over the last 5 years have become an ambassador for them. And as an ambassador, they have given me a code word so that my followers and students can get a 5% discount. So remember that, it's Tom W. It works every day of the year, whether they're having a sale or they're not having a sale, you'll get an extra 5% off your housing. So even those cheaper prices come down a little bit more. So be sure to use that. If you're buying any sort of like Aquatech product, doesn't have to be the housing, it can be the ports, the grips, whatever, the cleaning products, everything that Aquatech offer on the site will get their 5% discount at the checkout. So yeah, the biggest update, I guess, for Aquatech in 2026 was that reduction in price. So for instance, if you had a Canon R5 and you wanted the professional edge housing for it, it would have cost you $2,500 Australian. And now that price for the housing with full button control on the back is $19.99, so just under $2,000. In America, it's $14.99, around $1,500 US dollars. So a significant saving on what it was at the start of the year or at the end of 2025. And yeah, it's well worth, like, it's a scary investment, I get it, but it's become less scary. And really, when it's protecting that your expensive, up to $10,000 setup, maybe more, maybe little bit less, but it's protecting your valuable camera gear and the shots that you've taken. I think it's well worth the investment. All of my housings have well outlasted my cameras. I've got housings that are still operational for my old 5Ds, my old 20Ds, and they still work perfectly well. And I've since retired those cameras, but the housings go on and on. So they do last a long time, and they do work. One thing to understand is that the housing price isn't the end of the story. So work that into your budget. The $2,000 investment for the high-end edge housing, they've got a base model that's significantly cheaper, but if you want full button control, full control of your camera while you're out in the water, you'll need to go to the Edge Pro housing, which is around about $2,000 for most models Australian and about $1,500 US. But that's not the end of the story. You do need to get the port, so factor that into your budget as well. And what else you need with that will depend on what sort of photography you're doing and what you want to achieve, but you can always build on it. But for instance, to get started, at the very minimum, you need the housing and at least one lens port to go with the type of lens that you want to shoot most of your water photography with. Another big update for Aquatech in 2026 was the release of their new 8-inch glass dome port. Now, Aquatech have always done acrylic ports. They worked extremely well. I get incredibly sharp images from my acrylic ports, but they have released a more high-end option for professional photographers, and it's a glass port, so less resistant to scratches, maybe not as hard wearing, but the image quality is apparently a little bit higher. Now, I haven't tried this, so I'd like to test in the future, and if I do get a chance, I'll definitely do a review for you guys to let you know whether I think it's worth the investment, but it is significantly more. So in Australian dollars, you'll get a 8-inch acrylic port for around about $550, and the new glass 8-inch port is around $2,000. So a lot more. So it remains to be seen whether it is worth the extra. But yeah, if you're into your split levels, if you're into your underwater stuff and you just want the very best quality or something different, it might be something to consider. It's good to see that Aquatech are supporting this area and giving the option to photographers if they want the glass port option. I believe, unless I'm mistaken, they haven't had this option before. So yeah, it's refreshing to see. So yeah, stay tuned. We might have some more stuff on the glass ports in the future for you photographers looking for something a little bit extra. So some of the common questions that I get all the time before we dive into the specific questions, is the Aquatech housing worth it? Well, it really depends on you and how you're going to use it. If you buy a housing and you use it and you love it and you want to dive more into it and learn more about it and really access parts of photography that 99.99% of people don't have the ability to do, well, then it's absolutely worth it, because you're going to get pictures that hardly anyone would get. For every camera that gets sold, I would say that there's this tiny percentage that would then go on to buy a water housing, meaning that the people that do buy water housings are making images that the vast majority of photographers aren't making all around the world. So it really differentiates you as a photographer. So I think it's absolutely worth it, but you've got to use it. If you buy it and then just leave it in the cupboard and use it once a year, well, then it's probably not worth it. So I would say that for the money in the photography game, where everything is quite expensive, as many of you would already know, I would say it's pretty affordable. Like I said before, like the longevity of these housings is just extreme. Like I've got a guy that from my old 5D housing is still using that housing, a little grommet down in Coffs Harbour today, that is still using my original 5D housing, which has got to be like 15 odd years old. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. What you get for your dollars is really good, but it's up to you to use it and also learn how to use it so you get the most out of it. Because like any tool, if you don't know how to use it, well then not worth having and you're not making the best of it. The other common question is, will it keep me dry? Is it going to protect my camera? And there's no guarantees in this world, but I believe if you follow the right procedures and you have a rock solid system like I've had for the last 25 years, that you won't get a leak when you're using a well-respected, well-renowned brand like Aquatech to protect your camera. 99% of leaked housings that happen are from user error. It's from someone rushing, from someone using bad techniques, someone not knowing how to set it up right. So I have water photography courses. I've got a full length photography course that goes quite in depth, but I've also got a very affordable $27 course, which goes into caring for your housing, setting up your housing correctly, testing for your housing, and just along with a heap of other stuff in this course. It's got at least 10 or 12 tutorials on how to get started with your water photography for $27. So it's, if you're looking for an insurance policy, the $27 would well be worth it for just that information alone. And then if you want to go further with your water photography, if you really want to upskill, I've got the full water photographer program, I call it, rather than the course now, because it's got community support and ongoing support with live sessions and updated content. So if you want to explore any of that, I'll put the links below the video for you to check out. But yes, it will keep it dry if you use the correct techniques and go about it in a methodical fashion. Another question that I get is, which port should I get? So there is flat ports and there is dome ports, and they're used for different lenses and different purposes. So it really depends on the type of photography that you're trying to achieve and the type of lens that you are using. So once again, it is a little bit individual. I do go into scenarios inside my water photography, both for water photography courses, on which ones to use. But in short, dome ports are generally best for ultra wide lenses. So 10 mil to 20 mil in that really wide angle lens range. And they're incredibly good for under the water images, like submerged, and also split level shots. And wide angle surf action shots I use them for as well. The flat ports are more designed for the longer lenses, so that your 50 mils, your 100 mils, your 70 to 200s, that sort of range. So for your surf action photos with longer lenses, or your portraits from the water, your flat ports work really well. Anything above the surface as well is normally good with the flat ports. There is techniques to keep them, those flat ports and dome ports, water drop free, which is another question I get asked the most. And I've got a free little workshop that you can sign up for if you haven't seen that before, which will show you how to keep both the flat ports and dome ports water drop free. So once again, I'll put the link below, or just message me if you want access to that free workshop on lens port, clearing your lens ports. Okay, so we'll get to some questions now. This one was a question I got a little while ago from Emon. He wants to know his options with flash housings for his Aquatech camera. He's using a Canon R5 and he wants to start bringing flash into his water photography. I really encourage this. I think flash is just another element. Like, water photography is rare enough, but using flash in the water is just another step towards separating yourself from the crowd. So I like to use flash. I haven't used it as much lately, but they do have, Aquatech in the past have had a good flash housings for my Canon EX flashes, and they have also had a Godox system where they used to sell the flash and the flash housing. Now, this is something that personally I'm disappointed in with Aquatech at the moment. They haven't got any options for flash on their website. So currently, so they have had these in the past. I've still got my flash housing, luckily, for my Canon flash. However, I cannot update it by the looks of it, and looks like they've discontinued the Godox option as well. So that's disappointing from Aquatech. I hope they pick up their game here and offer flash housings. I think it's because the supply and demand thing, there's just not as many people asking for it, but there certainly is students within my course that are very keen on getting started with flash. So I think there would be a small selection of people that want to take it a bit further. And I think with encouragement and showing some results of what flash can do at that surface level of water photography, it could be a thing of the future. So I hope that Aquatech picks up their game here from here on in. But that's one point that is a little bit frustrating at the moment with Aquatech, and was one of their stronger points versus the other housing companies, which they've lost out on currently, but hopefully we see some flashes or flash options from them in the future. So Ben messaged in on my Instagram last night. I put a little bit of a call out. If you want to follow me on Instagram, by the way, my handle is @stimages. And yeah, love to have you along on the Instagram. You can connect with me there. But yeah, Ben, he said, I'm just about to invest in a housing for my Sony camera. I want to shoot surf action, in the barrel photos. So far in my cart, he's got it all in his cart ready to go, is the Edge water housing and the 8-inch dome port. Do I need anything else to get started? Technically, no. If you've got your dome port and extender to fit your wide angle lens with your Sony camera and the correct housing for your Sony camera, you are good to go. It does come with a handle and everything like that. What I would suggest for your surf action, which you said you're going to do, is a pistol grip. The new pistol grips, well, they're not that new anymore. They've been probably out for 3 or 4 years, but Aquatech drastically improved the quality and the functionality of their pistol grips, and I highly rate them now for wide angle surf action. You can hold your camera out at extended view with a wide angle lens and use the pistol grip to take your photos or to start your videos if you're doing videos. So I even use the pistol grip now when I'm using longer lenses. I just find it easier to tuck it in like that rather than use the normal shutter button. So pistol grip is probably a good addition to that if it's in your budget. If not, you can always add it down the track. But I reckon you'd be good to get started with that. And then if you need anything else, you can find out that as you move into your water photography journey. But yeah, Ben, you should be all right to get going with the housing and the dome port, but pistol grip, and you're really in business. Got another question from Chad, who's got a Canon 5D Mark IV, and he's looking to get a brand new housing for that camera. I know they definitely used to make them. They haven't currently got them on the website, so I believe they might not be producing any more for the older cameras. They're definitely focused more on the mirrorless cameras with the Edge series, and that's what's all over their website with the Canon stuff. So I would say that they may not be making them, but it'd be worth a phone call to Aquatech or email to see if they've got any outstanding stock if you definitely wanted new. The other option is secondhand. It is pretty strong secondhand market. And as I said before, these cameras last so well. So if someone has looked after their camera, have looked after their housing, I should say, then as a secondhand option could be a good option for you, especially if you've got an older camera, you want to run an older camera and they've discontinued the housings for them. So I would check out the secondhand market. It was a very popular camera, the Canon 5D Mark IV, and there was plenty of housings out there for them. So I would definitely check secondhand market. Is the secondhand market a good option? It depends. I think, like, having the peace of mind of having something new, is really good. So if there is a big enough difference, big enough savings to be had, and you can properly check out the housing, make sure it is great, and then do a proper test to see, if it's all leak proof and know the history of it, then I'd probably be comfortable buying it secondhand. And, if budget is a consideration. But yeah, obviously the new cameras and the new housings really go together well. So I would say consider secondhand, but really try and find out the origins of how it's spent its life and how it's been looked after. So let's wrap it. The 2026 is looking good for Aquatech. The prices have gone down. They've released a brand new dome port that I know even this morning I saw that the Nikon, forgotten the model of Nikon, but they've got a new housing for that as well. So that's exciting for Nikon users, and they keep updating that as well. If there's a new higher end camera or mid to high end camera, they've normally got it covered in Nikon, Sony and Canon, and they also do housings for some other brands as well, like Fuji and Panasonic, but certainly the big three brands are normally covered in the mid to high end of cameras. So that's exciting that they're continuing to do that. Their glass dome port's amazing. Only downside at the moment, the real downside is those lighting options just to get the flash out there is incredibly powerful to make a huge difference with your photography. But as mentioned before, as an ambassador, I have got a code word, Tom W, which will get you the extra 5% off every day of the year. So make sure to use that in the checkout. And yeah, you'll get that little extra saving on our already what I believe is very affordable product for what it delivers and what it can achieve for you as a photographer. If you want to go further with water photography, please reach out to me with any questions, suggestions about future videos. And yeah, if you want to exploring the links below, I'd love for you to do that. There is some excellent courses, free $27 course, starter course, which could save your camera. Among other things, can really get you started and get you motivated. And then there's my bigger water photography program, and even one-on-one mentorships once you've completed that, where I've taken people from just hobby photographers to part-time photographers to full-time photographers and thriving, and even just doing it for the love of photography. So there's plenty of options there, always willing to help. And thanks for tuning in today. Aquatech cameras and housings have been a blessing for me, and hopefully they are for you.